Hello everybody, welcome back to Exanima. This is going to be a video on fighting against the demon dude on level 4. So if you're waiting for the new series to start, then I'm going to be putting the first video up on Friday if everything goes to plan. So if you're waiting for that series, then yeah, I'm going to try and make Friday the day that I upload and keep it to once a week, as quite a few people have said that I should be uploading more often, so try and stick to Fridays as best as I can. But this is like a bonus midweek one for you, just a few strategies against the demon. The first one's the one everyone's talking about. I do think it's a legitimate strategy, but there's things to bear in mind. One is, if you do it this way, you're not going to get any experience points for the kill, so you do miss out on quite a lot of level progression or skill progression by doing it this way. The other thing to bear in mind is it probably won't be in the game forever, this strategy. I imagine that they're going to find ways to stop people from doing this. So make the most of it whilst you can. And I found that if you move the planks, then it makes it a little bit easier. If you don't move the planks, sometimes you can actually get him totally stuck and get the kill on him as he's sort of flailing around on the floor. So pros and cons to both approaches for this. But I've made sure that there's a big enough gap in the pit to allow him to sort of slide down quite easily. And I'm also going to show a way in which this can all go horribly wrong. So just a word of caution with this next clip. You see, he totally avoided the pit and then managed to sort of drag me into it, and then boom. Hilarious, but not the result we wanted, so just sort of put that in. It's quite funny. And this one is a very cheesy tactic, if you ask me. It's effective, but again, one of those things that's almost certainly going to be changed in future versions of Exanima, so I wouldn't be relying 100% on this tactic being successful every time, but he just really doesn't do well in the small toilet rooms, and he gets caught on all sorts of things, as you'll see, and most of his attacks are easily sort of avoided because you've got that barrier in the middle of the room, and also the walls stop him from being able to do his overheads as well as he normally would. It's still not 100% guaranteed that you'll kill him in here. He can still kill you for sure. As you can see, he gets completely hung up on that centre part and start feeling a little bit bad. So sort of nudge him off and then instantly regret it, as you'll see. Yeah, far too cheesy for my liking, this strategy. So yep, there's that, if you're desperate. The next one I'd say is slightly less cheesy. It's more about using the environment, and so therefore quite acceptable, although you'll see why it's still slightly dubious. The idea with this one is get him to this connection point, although I'm sure there's other places on the map that you can do a similar sort of thing. And then I'm basically just trying to line up getting the big overheads on his to his head where the space sort of allows me, and the positioning allows me. I don't exactly execute this perfectly. I'm sure it's possible to do this much better than I do. I get caught a couple of times, but you'll see the advantages as well in the my health goes really low right there, and Now I can just run in circles endlessly, waiting for my health to sort of recover a little bit. At least that's what I should have done. He does this sort of pause when he runs, yeah, which sort of allows you to get a bit of a gap between you and him, and then once the space is wide enough, it gives you plenty of time to sort of spin round and try and get an overhead in. If you get a good overhead right on his head, then it does stagger him enough for you to miss the next attacks that he makes. Usually, anyway, it's not guaranteed, but you can get really good staggers if you get a direct head hit with overheads. So there's that one. And then the last two, well, this one is with the two-handed sword, the sort of special one from level 3. It's my favourite weapon so far in Exanima, although there's a few contenders now, I've got to say. These last two are more just straight up fights. This is the way that I prefer to fight this fight, rather than some of the more dubious tactics which I've just demonstrated. But I thought I'd get a good sort of selection of different ways that you can fight him in one video, and then maybe it's useful, maybe it's interesting to some of you. Who knows, but it's nice to have them all sort of compiled together. The last one's the one I'm most proud of. If you see, I already start off with about half stamina bar, health bar. I'm using the heater shield and the Proctor's sword for this fight. You can see my health goes all the way to the bottom. And really the heater shield comes into its own. I've got to say, if you haven't tried this fight with the heater shield yet, then you will see that it's really effective. It helps you to stay on your feet, it helps you to avoid damage. The heater shield is ridiculously good for fighting this guy. This is probably my favourite kill that I've recorded on him as well, just because of the final blow that I managed to get on him right there. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you on Friday for a new video.